Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Daily Anime Talk, where I give my overviews on some of the recent anime I've watched, and then I have a quick discussion about what happened and what my thoughts were. Just a quick heads up that I did release an episode on Monday, so make sure to check that out. So for the start of this episode, the first episode I watched was So I'm a Spider, So What, episode 5. Kumiko has finally arrived at the middle area of the labyrinth that consists of heat, fire, and magma. As soon as she enters, she is attacked by a fire seahorse from the magma, which causes her to retreat back to the previous area. We meet up with Schlain and the newly evolved Furine, who is now about the size of a big dog. And while in class, the religious fanatic tells Schlain to keep an eye out and kill anyone with the taboo skill, which scares Furine since she has it. Kumiko has spent time using her evolution points and gained some skills which seem to buff her quite a bit, including Abyss Magic and the Pride skill. While looking for food, she's attacked by an Earth Dragon, causing her to retreat to the new area and move on, but this time with her upgraded abilities. Kumiko takes on the seahorse and defeats it, but is soon attacked, again, by two catfish-like monsters. She kills one with poison directly into the mouth, causing the other to retreat. The catfish is delicious, so she decides to hunt more. The episode ends with the hero Julius entering the same area as Kumiko. So I'm a spider. I'm loving watching how Kumiko is getting used to this new world and more or less accepting the position she's in, because she can't do anything about it, so she may as well just deal with it the best she can, trying to evolve and get all these like really cool abilities like Pride and Abyss. She can't actually use the magic properly yet, but she seems to want to get to know how to use it, so I imagine throughout the rest of this season we're going to see her progress a bit more. The other characters that are from her class that also got reincarnated, they're okay, they're kind of interesting, but they're kind of just generic isekai based characters, where Kumiko's like, she's a spider, and it's a lot different from what you think about an isekai anime. So I'm looking forward to how much more she can grow, especially with one of the other skills she got, Demon Lord. I want to see how that affects her relationship with like the hero and the other classmates as well. But I'm guessing she's going to run into Julius in the next episode, so hopefully we get some good interactions between them. Okay, so the next thing I watched was Hidden Dungeon episode 5. Noir, Emma, Lola, and Luna are all at the Harem Pride event, where they will be judged and appraised by the audience. After watching many other harems go before them, get blasted with insults and belittled, it is finally their turn. The group are given 3 scenarios and have to act the most like a harem, and after all 3, they are cheered and given the highest score in the Harem Pride's history. They win and gain the money for Luna to use in exchange for her curse-removing powers. They all leave to the house of Maria and explain to Maria and the parents that Luna can now remove the curse. Luna puts all her energy and effort into removing the curse, and after a struggle is able to purify it. Maria shows her appreciation to Noir and shows her appreciation to the despair of Emma and Luna, who are very much in love with Noir. They leave the mansion with a sense of accomplishment, but Emma and Lola fear Maria has fallen for Noir, and Luna says she has as well. Hidden Dungeon's a good anime. I love a good rom-com when it's set out this way, because the characters are all fun to watch. Noir's quite a fun character because he tries to get new skills with his LP, but he doesn't know how to get the LP without being very awkward. He's always a bit awkward trying to ask his friends like Luna and Emma how to help him, per se. But this episode was fun, especially the Harem Pride stuff. All the like mask-faced characters all crying and being jealous over Noir. That was fun to watch. And then the lovely bit at the end where they cure Maria of her illness, and then we get to see how Noir is progressing as a character. He's becoming that hero, worthy of his Hero Academy spot. So I imagine we're going to get some more fun adventures with the group, the harem, but we'll see. I imagine we're probably going to get a villain, like a proper villain, to add to the series soon, because it's been very like jolly and happy go. But I imagine we'll probably get a bad guy soon. Okay, so the next thing we move on to is JuJutsu Kaisen episode 17. Maki and Kazumi are continuing their fight when Kazumi recalls Mai telling her that Maki was fairly weak, but when actually fighting her, realizes she is as strong as a second grade sorcerer, even though she is only at fourth grade. The fight between them doesn't last long, with Maki disarming Kasumi and taking her sword. Now we return to Gojo and the other higher-ups, discussing Maki and how her clan is the reason she hasn't been able to rise in the ranks. And then Gojo also mentions how the cameras around Itadori keep cutting out conveniently. The next fight is between Kugisaki and Momo, with Momo using wind magic and Kugisaki her usual hammer and nails. After they both snap back at each other about their teammates, Kugisaki uses some of her stronger abilities and almost defeats Momo. But from out of nowhere, Mai snipes Kugisaki, knocking her out. The final confrontation is between Maki and Mai, with a load of backstory flashbacks showing their complicated relationship. After some back and forth, each showing their abilities and strength, Maki comes out on top, leaving Mai to retire with the relationship still in tatters. This little arc in JuJutsu Kaisen, the little fight between the two schools, is fun. We get to see the full extent of the powers of each character, because for a lot of the characters we've just seen them chatting to each other, but now we're actually getting to see like Maki and Mai, how good they are in a fight, because Maki, like everyone said, oh, she's only fourth grade, but everyone seems to respect her a lot, and now we know why. She isn't just fourth grade, she's second grade. She's just being held back by her family. So hopefully, in the last couple of fights we see just how powerful some of these other characters are, because there's definitely going to be some hidden gems in the rough, I'm assuming. Okay, so moving on to the next episode, was Dr. Ramon's Mysterious Disease Specialist, episode 5. Ramon runs into a young boy praying at a shrine, and mentions his mum has a mysterious disease which piques Ramon's interest. After introducing the boy Ryo to Kuro, Ramon gets a call about a referral case which is actually Ryo's mum, who has pot stickers attached to her ears. After talking to her, Ramon sees that she is using the pot stickers to block out all information or voices that might cause her distress. Ryo tells Ramon that he will do anything to save his mum, and Ramon gives him shells which will take Ryo's voice in exchange for helping his mum. Ramon and Kuro discover that Ryo's brother that his mum has been constantly talking to isn't actually there, and is hallucinating him since he was kidnapped and most likely killed. In a flashback, after an argument, Yu, the brother, went to get a present for Ryo but was kidnapped. Not long after, his arm was delivered in a box. This is when her denial and hallucinations began. After encountering a journalist, they assume Yu is dead and wants info on him. This angers Ryo, who goes home but sees his mum's ears and condition have gotten worse. Ryo runs to Ramon for help. They leave for the house, but Ryo runs into a forest thinking it could be his brother. Ryo runs off a cliff, but Ramon catches him and takes the brunt of the impact. The episode ends with Ryo trying to wake Ramon. I like the formula of Dr. Ramon because it's something different every episode. Like one of them was the weird genital vegetable, that was weird, and then we had the mayo crying in the first episode. It's always slightly different and slightly strange, but this one was a lot more darker than those last few episodes. In this one, it's like the possible killing of a child, and the rest of them are like fairly trivial matters, and it's gone a lot more serious now, which is why I imagine they made it into a two-parter. But I've enjoyed it so far, all these weird diseases turning into these strange objects like shells and food. But yeah, I like the characters of Ramon and Kuro. They make a good partner, and Ramon trying to teach the characters lessons is one of the more fun things about it, because even though he gets a weird kick out of it, he likes to help people, obviously. So I want to see where it ends up from here, because Ramon looks in a rough state at the end of the episode, so hopefully he comes to and helps Ryo help his mum finally. Okay, and the next thing up on the watch list was Mushoku Tensei episode 5. Rudius is now travelling with the woman Ghislaine, and she gives him a letter from his father Paul. The letter says he has found Rudius a job teaching a young girl magic, maths, reading, and the like. Ghislaine is her bodyguard. The first person Rudius meets is Paul's cousin, who is a mayor, and the girl he will be teaching is his daughter. After Rudius finally meets the girl, Eris, who is very strong-willed and rejects Rudius, they slap each other, causing Eris to punch and go berserk on Rudius, trying to beat the hell out of him. After escaping, Rudius hatches a plan with Eris's father to try and improve his odds of being accepted by her. Rudius, during the night, wakes up in a box tied up with Eris in another box. At this point in time, Rudius thinks this is still part of the plan he came up with. After witnessing the kidnappers beat Eris bloody, he heals her and they escape back to Roa. The attendant appears in front of them, and while he distracts Rudius, another man grabs Eris. Rudius chases them and blocks their escape with earth magic. After they try and bribe Rudius, he sets off a firework explosion, alerting Ghislaine of their presence. Ghislaine arrives, destroys the sword that was thrown at Rudius, and then without a sweat cuts the heads off the two assailants while capturing the attendant. They all return home, and Eris accepts Rudius and allows him to become her teacher. I like where this is going. Compared to a lot of other anime that's here at the moment, it's much more slow paced. It's getting to know the characters more and in more detail. A lot of other anime are very like, oh, here's the character, here's what they do, here's their story. But for this one, we're getting like whole episodes to get to know Eris and what she's like, about how she's a bit more strong-willed and doesn't like to be told what to do. And Rudius is very like, oh, I want to teach her, but I need to find a way to do it naturally without being forceful. He wants to help her, but he doesn't want to like go, okay, this is it. No, it's not your choice. He wants to make a relationship with her that he can build on, become friendly with. So I like how it started off. It's clearly going to be a fun time, him teaching her. I imagine he will be a good teacher, hopefully, and Eris won't be too mean to him. But we'll see. I imagine Ghislaine will actually help Rudius to improve the relationship with Eris as well. So hopefully the next couple of episodes will be quite fun. Okay, so the next episode I watched was Kemono Jihen, episode 5. Kabane is cleaning the hallway when he remembers Inugami told him to stay away from a certain door when suddenly he gets pulled into it. Later, Inugami, Akira, and Shiki find Kabane waiting on another unseen resident, a vampire called Mihai. Just like rumours suggest, vampires are strong and long-lived, basically immortal is what Inugami tells them, and the only reason Umegami let Mihai stay is because Mihai is a tech whiz and does everything tech-wise for the company. While out shopping, Kabane runs into Kon, who has now been replaced and abandoned by Inari with another kitsune. Kabane asks Kon to fight as an outlet for both of them. Kon ends up crying and falling asleep on Kabane's shoulder. Kabane tells Kon he will come visit her. When Kabane returns, Mihai is talking with Akira and Shiki about a new job that Inugami has trusted them to do. The job involves a company that had a high suicide rate, but out of nowhere went to zero in a very unnatural pattern. When Shiki, Kabane, and Akira infiltrate the building, Shiki uses a new camouflage ability he has developed to stealthily enter without being seen. Shiki then witnesses an overworked employee being led into a back room and having his brains sucked out by a mosquito Kemono. And this employee then silently returns to work. Mihai is constantly becoming bored, so he decides to spice things up by trying to instigate conflict between the mosquito women and the kids by making as much noise as possible. Shiki almost stays hidden, but is found by one. However, just in time, Mihai remotely shocks her unconscious from his remote car drone, giving Shiki the chance to escape. This is very much like Mushoku Tensei. It's a very slow build, but there's a lot more stuff going on, but it's a lot more slow build, so we get to learn about the characters a bit more. Like Shiki, we get to learn about his character a bit more, about how he's scared of things. He's putting up more of a front as the team leader, but he's trying his best. Kabane is just fun because he's very ignorant of everything. He's very flat-faced. And then also we get to meet Mihai, who he seems to be a bit of not of a nice bloke. He might be trying to take advantage of pretty much everyone that's there just for his entertainment. But hopefully we get to learn about him a bit more in the next episode and see that he's not too much of a mean guy. Hopefully he's a bit nicer than he actually seems like he is. Okay, so the next thing I watched was a One Piece episode 961. After the giant boar god attacks the city, Kinemon goes on the offensive when he hears Suru has been eaten and killed. After a few hits that do very little, the boar hits Kinemon very hard, making him bloody and injured. When all looks grim, Oden steps up, holding the baby boar, and taunts the giant boar into attacking him. As the boar charges, Oden draws his swords using haki, and within an instant cuts the boar in two. Citizens are conflicted since they think Oden brought the boar to the city, but also defeated it. All the people eaten by the giant boar appear, seemingly unharmed after getting out when Oden cut it in two. Oden then leaves the capital, now with Kinemon and Denjiro, following as his newly self-appointed retainers. The three of them now go on a trip across the country, visiting different areas, and more people join along the way. One of the first people they meet is a younger Yasue, who has a younger Orochi as a servant, but this is only a rest stop for the moment. As they continue their journey, they also meet a young Kiku and her brother, who are playing music door to door. Then Kanjuro, who steals hair from the living and dead to sell until he tried with Oden, only to get punched in the face. Finally, they meet Raizo, who is hiding in a forest as a bandit and is happy to reunite with Oden since leaving the Kozuki family as a ninja. While eating, the group realize Oden has gone off towards Kuri to fight Ashura, who's holed there with his bandit group. After cutting his way through, Oden is surrounded and ready to fight. I'm liking the backstory. It's fun to see this legendary character Oden that pretty much the whole of the Wano arc, he's been mentioned time and time again from Momo and Kinemon and pretty much everyone that's related to Wano. They've all said that Oden was this big character that played a big part in the history of Wano. So it's good to see they're building up his legacy a bit more now. And it's good to see the younger characters like Kinemon about what he was like in the past, because now Kinemon is a very stoic character. He doesn't show much emotion, but back then he seemed to be a bit more rough around the edges as a younger lad, and now we get to see how he was in the past, and hopefully we get to see Raizo and Kanjuro how they were as well, and we can get a much more appreciation for their character arc from the younger days into the now older retainer days, trying to get back the land of Wano. Okay, and then the last episode I watched was Escape the Infinity, episode 5. Reki gets out of hospital with no head injuries and what looks like a broken or fractured arm, but says it shouldn't take longer than 2 weeks to heal. Langa now has to face Adam in S, but Reki is worried it might be too much for Langa, and the whole time leading up to the event keeps asking Langa to reconsider skating against Adam, even trying to get the manager to help. Reki then goes and asks Cherry for some advice about beating Adam, and Cherry asks to see Langa. Reki and Cherry go to the skate park where Langa, Mia and Shadow are and witness Langa performing one of Adam's most difficult tricks, shocking the group at how quickly Langa has adapted. Adam is still treating his driver like crap. The day of the event, Adam tries to do the same trick of waiting behind, but Langa just waits with him. During the race, Langa easily uses Adam's trick, but only energizes Adam, who starts doing his scare tactics of grabbing Langa and is bored. When this doesn't work and Langa pulls away, Adam then tries Love Hug, but Langa again outsmarts him. Adam is enthralled by Langa, but the race is cut short when police arrive and everyone runs off. I'm really enjoying Skate the Infinity. It's fun to see the outrageous skating moves they try, like Love Hug. It's completely silly in the full scheme of a skate race, but Adam's character it fits great with because he's such an eccentric, weird character. And also how Langa is adding a lot of his snowboarding tactics and tricks into the skateboarding now. It's good to see that. And also Reki, how before he was just kind of the average skater kid, but now we're getting to see a lot more of his backstory with this unnamed friend that got injured and stopped skating, and then also how he's trying to stop Langa from skating because he thinks he's going to get hurt and stop wanting to skate with him. And what I reckon is that Reki has actually called the police to get the event stopped because he's that scared that Langa's going to get hurt. That pretty much sums it up. That's all the episodes I watched through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. If you want to keep up with any other episodes I'm going to upload, I'm going to try and upload a lot more frequently. Make sure to subscribe and keep an eye out for a Dragon Ball episode. I'm rewatching the original Dragon Ball, so keep an eye out for that, and I will see you all next time.